Alright, we got a nice big old piece of bamboo here. It's about a 4-inch diameter, 3.5-inch diameter. Good sized piece. What we're going to do with that, show you how to make a hammock. Because when it comes to any type of jungle scenario or where bamboo is present and it's warm and you got critters, wigglies, you need to get off the ground, you're in a swamp, whatever the case is, this is a quick way to get yourself off the ground, okay? Because building a platform, you know, like you see in books where you stick things in the ground, isn't as easy as it is written in a book, okay? This actually isn't too bad. In a place where there's a lot of vines, this can be done quite simply, actually. Okay, so I want to take and turn this into a hammock. So I've got these big notches on the end like this. I'm going to leave one fully intact. So I'm going to start inside this notch right here, okay? So we got a whole notch here. I want to leave this one intact, and I'm going to start here. And what I want to do is go down this whole length and take about just a little under half off of it, okay? So I'm going to start by just chopping into this thing. Use my knife kind of like a draw knife once I get in there. I'm going to work my way all the way down. I want to make sure I keep this good and centered. And I want to be sure to stop down here at the end and leave another section for myself. So I'm going to chop into this right here. I'm going to make sure it doesn't go any further than that. Okay? I'm going to take all these sections out. Those are easy to get out. Okay, so what I have essentially here is almost like a little canoe. Okay? So now what I'm going to want to do is start splitting this thing down. I might even want to take just a little bit more. I want to be about halfway, like I said. So I'm going to take one more good chunk off. All the way down. So now what I want to do is start making splits. Okay, I want to take my knife and make, I don't know, I'd say 1/2 inch maybe. 3/4 inch splits. So I want to get through this thing here like that. Get my knife in there. I want to be careful while I'm doing this, so I can get them good and spaced right. Just gonna start working my way down. Put it down on this tree, it seems to help a lot for making this work right. Okay, so I've got one split all the way down. Now what I want to do is keep splitting this thing, making sure that it's all the way apart. See, I can see I got a little bit of an area that's together here. Okay. So now I have a section that's workable. And then what you're going to do is you're going to space all these sections out after you get them all split down. So I want sections about like that right there. I think you can see that. Okay. It's about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and make the rest all the way down this. And once I do that, I'll get back with you with the next step. Okay, so now what you can see I got going on here. See how that just spreads out nice for me? Push down on it and it just opens right up. And that's what we want. Now I want to note something. I had to lash this and this here with some cordage. And if you were in an area with vines, you could use vines. There's some vines here, but I don't want to take all the vines out of the forest. So you would simply just lash this together if you split that too far. And that'll help hold this together because you don't want this to split all the way through. And that's what I had happening here. Right here I got a little split. And I just had to wrap some cordage here and there. And that should cover me for that area. So now we need to get some vines and start weaving this stuff, spacing it apart. Alright, so I went and got me a pile of vines. And I just want to start weaving this all together. Okay, so I'm just going to start by wedging this one up in here. Okay. Okay. Just going to bring it through itself. And that's what's going to start giving us our space here. Just got to start spacing all these pieces out. It'll take a little bit of time to get this done. But it can be done. Okay? So eventually we're going to get this kind of a shape. And I'll just give you a time lapse of me weaving this in and out in between those. Alright, so I did a quick setup with this. It's nothing fancy. It's just simple. I got just a couple vines in here. Now, an ideal situation where you have more time and more vines, then you would load this thing up real good. I just want to give you guys the basic idea how to do it. Basically like you're weaving a basket. Just go over and under. The more vines, the more you can manipulate this thing and open it up. So keep that in mind. And to spare more vines, I'm going to use my actual hammock tie-ups to do this. So you can see that it's open up now. It's open where I could maybe lay in it. And once you lay in it, it ends up opening up even more. So I want to latch this thing real good to this tree. So I'm going to put a good bite here. that lashed on there. Now I want to come around the tree. And I want to leave enough space where I can get both sides fairly even. So I'm going to bring this up higher. One. I'm going to come through it with this type of. Cinch that down good. Then I'll come over here to this side and do the same thing. Come around this first. This is going to help hold it all together as well. And we're just going to try to get it even. Okay, I'm just going to cinch it all down. I want to bring this down a little bit because I don't want to be perfectly flat. I like to be on a slight angle. Like that. Just going to cinch this down. Over, cinch it down. Fucking knot. Place. Since I have a little extra, I'm just going to give it a simple extra hold. Okay, so there we have our hammock. So we got her all done up. Now we're going to give her a weight test. Okay. There we have it. Now in the jungle, you'll have a lot more vines to work with and a lot stronger vines. All the vines I'm grabbing, them clematises aren't strong enough. I had a couple grapevines I found, and you know, they're alright, but they break under a lot of stress. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of how to make something like a hammock in jungle situations, because it's hard to get off the ground. Making a swamp bed isn't as easy as those books say, like I mentioned earlier. And you don't want to waste too much time. You know, this really, in a jungle scenario, wouldn't take you that long. You know, if I bring you guys up here, you can see I just simply weaved. It's a messy job, it really is. I just weaved a bunch of vines in there like that. And you would use vines here. In the jungle, there's vines stronger than this rope, okay? So you'll have no problem. You just wrap the heck out of it like this. You wrap it as good as you can. This is just me running out of daylight and giving you the best scenario of this as I can here in a more northern woodland type area. So this is a good way to get off the ground. You know, when you build them swamp beds, a lot of people say, well, just pound 4 poles in the ground. Well, that ain't that easy. You know, they say it's easy, but it's not. The best thing to do, I'll show you how to make a good swamp bed using tripods, which actually works a little better. So we'll go over that too, but I wanted to just give you guys a good idea of a bamboo hammock. Okay, and I showed you it'll hold my weight. It's even split down here. You can see I went too far. It's better, you know, in a real situation, it's better to leave a couple sections on there so it doesn't split like this on you. I just didn't have enough resources. Okay, I can only carry so much back here. And this side here held up pretty good. I wrapped this one up real good. This extra rope on here will keep it all together for me though. But as you can see, we'll sit on it again. Once you get on here, you kind of, that's why it's good to have them extra vines, because you can space it out a little more. But you can see that I'm laying on here. Is it as comfortable as my hammock? Absolutely not. Will I be able to sleep on this? Surely yes. I can sleep on a hammock any day of the week compared to sleeping on the ground. So that's why I wanted to show you this, because I'm a big fan of sleeping on hammocks. I don't like tents. I don't like sleeping on the ground like you saw in my root shelter video. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. My back hurts the next day. I'd rather sleep on a hammock, up in the air, away from all the chiggers and whatever's in the area. The only time I ever got anything to eat me up was in Florida, sleeping on a rope hammock. I had no-see-ums get me, and I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but no-see-ums are no fun. They just eat you alive, and you're like, what's biting me? I feel prickly heat. It's almost like prickly heat. But then you look closer and you can see these little wings with teeth. That's pretty much all they are. That's the only time I ever got eaten up in a hammock. But if I were in the jungle and I had bamboo around, this is what I would make. As long as I had the vines that could hold it up and everything. You know, and you test that before you make it. If you don't have them, you can't make it, unfortunately. But there you have it, guys. There's the bamboo hammock. Or the chair, if you want to make a chair. Pretty comfortable when it comes to just sitting in it.